So last night, I did shrooms, and prepping for the Better Call Saul finale. Before I watched Better Call Saul, I watched a film called Ex Machina, and so this poster here, I mean, I don't know, like this movie. Um, this movie is really interesting, right? So I know the person who made this movie. I believe their name is like Alex Garland or some shit. I've seen their show called Devs, which I highly recommend. They have a show on Hulu, FX or whatever called Devs. It's basically like an 8 or 9 hour movie, and it's really good. But they made this before that, and I've never seen it. So to me, I was going in having seen Devs, which I enjoy. And so this is a movie about AI. And whether or not like AI can be, like how intelligent they are or whatever. It's kind of like a pseudo horror movie. And you know, one thing I noticed, like, and you can kind of tell this looking at the poster, but one thing I noticed about this movie is the movie is really horny, right? Like there's like a lot of like sexual shit in this movie, which I did not expect. I didn't, you know, in retrospect, all right, I get it, right? But like, going into the movie, now keep in mind, I was taking drugs. I'm on drugs, which I do not recommend because they're bad for you and they're illegal. But I was on drugs watching this movie. And, like, so I'm thinking, like, oh, it's just going to be a cool AI. Like, they're going to try to escape and, you know, maybe they'll kill someone. And then, like, there's, like, a whole scene about, like, you know, like, oh, I think she likes you. And it's like, oh, okay, you know. Anyway, so there's two main characters and then the AI. Right, the two main characters. The thing about this movie that is really interesting is that there's so few actual like characters on screen. Like a lot of this, like it feels like one of those pandemic movies, but this was made in 2015. Right, there's really only like 3 or 4 actors that are really like have any role at all. And that's interesting to me. But so anyway, so some like tech genius guy makes an AI in secret. He has a secret compound on like an island or some shit. I don't know. And some other guy gets chosen, gets flown out on a helicopter to go to this island to go like test out the AI because he, you know, and he signs the NDA or whatever. And like one thing I loved about this movie is like this compound enclave is like super high tech. It's got that like weird modernism kind of design where it's like all the rooms are like there's only one like piece of artwork on the wall, and then there's like it's built around like a cave, so there's like rocks all over the place. It's visually interesting but not interesting at the same time, right? You know, but anyway, so he interviews this guy and it's like, all right, you're gonna test out the AI. And then he goes in, tests out the AI, and then like, you know, it's like a horror movie vibes, right? And so, but like it's a weird thing because then the AI tells the other guy that the tech bro is actually a bad guy, right? And makes up this whole elaborate scheme. And the tech bro is kind of in on it, right? Because the tech bro knows that the AI is going to want to use this guy to escape. So he kind of is leading both of them on. But then they both factor in that he's leading them on. And so they lead him on with the leading. And there's like, you know, the double, triple twist or whatever at the end. I thought it was pretty good. This movie is just really good. I don't know how to review it. I really don't. Like, this is one of those movies that you just need to kind of watch it. It's kind of like an experience, you know? I think overall it's pretty good. I mean, I would absolutely say that this is a fun movie to watch on shrooms, for sure. There's a lot of visual, like, interesting stuff going on in the visual realm, right? Like, the dialogue is, like, very awkward and strange, you know what I mean? Right? So it's like, but it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. I enjoyed it. I would also, again, recommend their series, Alex Garland's series, Devs, on Hulu. It's just really good. I mean, that's a good fucking series, so I'm into that. But yeah, this movie was really good. The AI, you know, I don't want to spoil the ending if you haven't seen it, but, you know, does the AI escape? You know, who knows? It's impossible to tell. But it's just it's a good movie. I liked the stabbing scene. The stabbing scene is when that motherfucker goes like, whoo, slips right in. Now again, I'm on shrooms, right? And like when the knife slips in and there's no sound effect and the blood starts pouring out, I'm like, and then there's that scene where the motherfucker is like cutting their wrist because they don't know if they're a robot or not. Right? You know what I mean? That's just crazy. I was freaking out watching that because, you know, I have had a history of self-harm, and watching that scene when he's like cutting his wrist open in the worst way possible for no reason, right? And there's blood gushing out, and he's oh my god. Now keep in mind I'm on shrooms, so I'm like I couldn't look away. I was like, I gotta watch the movie because Oh, I was freaking out. But anyway, Ex Machina, check it out. It's a really horny movie. Like, again, like, there's a lot of, like, you know, I mean, like, look at this poster. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell's going on there? Like, the bitch is a robot, and, you know, I don't know what's going on. But it's a really horny movie, unexpectedly. But it's also good. So if you like robots, you like AI, and you like horror vibes, and you like a horny robot, this is a movie for you. I recommend it. So there you go. Your hair looks good. Of course it does. It always looks good.